Let's take a look at how to create something in the app Scratch Junior for iPad. After you download and install the Scratch Junior app, you want to go ahead and tap its icon to open it up, and then tap the home icon on the main screen. This will take you to your projects page where anything that you've created in the past will be saved here. It's important to remember with Scratch Junior that whatever you create gets saved to whatever iPad you're working on. So you have to use the same iPad every time you want to access anything that you've worked on in the past. To create a new project, you can tap the plus sign with the blank page at the top left, or you can choose any existing project that you've already started in the past. I'm going to start a blank one here. So let's take a look at the basics of what you can do here in Scratch Junior. Every project begins with a blank page with just a cat on it. You can use this cat if you'd like, or you can delete it and add any of your own characters. To delete characters, you can tap them on the left side of the screen and tap and hold. So I'm going to find that icon here. And I'll hold it until the X appears, and I can hit the X to get rid of it. Now the left side of the screen, where you see the plus sign, is how you add characters to your page. On the right side of the screen, where you see another plus under a white page, that is how you add a scene. You can have up to 4 different scenes per project. So let's add a character to this first page. If you scroll down through this, you'll find that there are a lot of different characters and objects that you can add. So let's start with a school bus. After you tap the school bus or whatever object you want to select it, press the check button in the upper right hand corner. Now we have a school bus. Now I'm just moving the bus with my fingers so you can position it wherever you'd like. And you can also add a background to the scene. Right now it's white, which doesn't really do much for our project. If you want to change the background, hit the little picture icon at the very top center of the screen with the sky and the hills. This allows you to choose the scene background for your current page. So since we have a school bus, perhaps we want to do one that has a street on it. Let's go with this. In the city, check mark. Okay, there we go. So I've positioned the bus on the background on the road. It's in a place where it makes sense. Maybe I want to have it here. And let's say we want to program this bus to drive across the road to get to the other side. To do that, notice here we have at the very bottom, which is our code workspace, and all of the different code blocks that are available to add. So if we want to add code to the school bus, we need to choose one of the code categories using these colored buttons. All of the code needs to begin with some sort of start command, which is the yellow code blocks. If you use the green flag, that would mean when you press the green flag at the top, something will happen. So anything you attach to this green flag will happen when you tap the green flag. So we want the bus to move. So I'll go to the blue movement commands, and I'm going to go with the right command. So the bus will move to the right when I press the green flag. Right now it'll only move 1 space. We can see that because the number 1 is at the bottom of the movement command. So let's go ahead and see how far 1 actually is. I'm going to tap the green flag at the top. 1 doesn't take it too far. I want to put it back where I started. So if you notice at the top of the screen, next to the green flag is a little reset button. And that puts it back to the beginning so you don't have to constantly be moving the bus by hand. So 1 wasn't enough. I'm going to go with 10. To change that, I just tapped the number and then I used the number pad on the right. Let's go ahead and tap the green flag and see what happens. Okay, 10 looked like it was good. Alright, so I want to reset this. Let's say I wanted somebody to get on the bus. Let's see if we can figure that out. So I'm going to need another character. Or maybe someone's getting off the bus. I don't know, we'll figure it out. I'm going to tap the plus on the left side of the screen to choose another character. And let's go with this student here. So let's go with this girl. Child. Okay, so there's the child. And maybe the child is going to be walking to get on the bus. So let's see here where the child needs to walk to. I'm going to press play again. The bus stops right about in the middle, so we want this child to be able to walk in and get on the bus somehow. And let's see how that looks. Alright, so I'm going to reset. And after the bus gets to where it's going, we want the girl to walk to the door. So we're going to go to the girl's code, and we're going to have a touch command for the girl. So when we touch the girl, she will execute her code. Now let's say she's going to move to the left to get to the bus, and she'll probably only need to move around 5 or 6. Let's go with 6. And let's see if that lines up well. So let's tap. It'll run the code for everything. And remember, we programmed the girl to touch to begin. So I'll touch, and she walks over. Looks like we need to go a little bit more. So let's try 8. I'll reset the code. And then she needs to go up to get to the bus, probably about 4. Let's see how that looks. And I'll tap to start her code. Okay, that looks pretty good. We can actually probably have her walking up 5 instead of 4. And now we need her to disappear at the end here so she can appear to have the illusion of getting on the bus. All right, let's see if I can find anything that would do that. Okay, here we go. It's one of the pink commands. If you tap them, it tells you what's happening. So the hide command will happen. So now let's see if it looks like the girl is getting on the bus. I'm going to reset my code to put everything back to the beginning. And I'll tap the green flag, the bus moves. I'll tap the girl so that she walks and goes up. And it looks like she got on the bus now. So now we're ready for the bus to drive away. So I'm going to go back to the bus command here at the top left of my screen, and I'm going to adjust the code of the bus. Now, since the girl walks to the bus and then disappears, we don't want the bus to drive away until she's actually disappeared. So I need to tell the bus to wait for a little bit. I'm going to put in this stopwatch, and it says wait 10. We'll see if that works. And then after it's done waiting, the bus will drive away, and we'll have it move another 10. Let's see how that looks. Again, I'm going to reset my code to put everything back to the beginning. And let's go. The bus is driving. I'm going to tap the girl character. Uh-oh. The bus drove away too soon. So what we need to do is change how long it's waiting for. I'm going to do 20 instead of 10. Let's try this now. Okay, so we have some fixing to do here. I think what we should do here is have the girl walking to the bus at the beginning instead of when we tap her. So let's change this tap command to a green flag. So that way the girl and the bus are moving at the same time, and we can always have the same amount of time before the bus starts driving away, and we don't have to worry about tapping her too soon or too late. That might help. Let's see how it looks. Okay, that seemed to fix our problem here. So the issue was that the girl was walking to the bus whenever we tapped her, and depending on when we tapped her, the bus may have started driving away too soon. Now that we reset the code here and tapped it so they both start moving when we tap the green flag, she gets on the bus at the same time every time, and then the bus drives away after she's gotten on the bus. So that is our program there. One more thing we can do here is say we're going to get to another scene. Let's add a new scene now. I'm going to tap the plus on the right side, and I'm going to choose the scene by tapping the picture icon at the very top. And let's say the bus is now going to get to a home. All right, there we go. I'm going to get rid of the cat by tapping and holding. And X. And let's tell it to go to the next scene. So back at scene 1 here, using the red code, we can see that there's a new block with a scene number 2 block on it. And we want to change it so that the scene changes after the bus drives away with the girl. So I just added that. Let's see if that works. Girl's getting on the bus. She's on, drives away. Looks like we have it scene changing too fast. So let's just fix this and then we'll call it a day. So going back to scene 1, we need it to wait. So now might be a good time to use that stopwatch. And I'm going to have it wait for 20. before it changes the scene. See if that gives it enough time for the bus to drive away. Okay, here we go. It's waiting 20. That looks good. Okay, and if we wanted to have the bus continuing here, we can just hit the plus sign, and we can find the bus again. I think it was at the bottom. There we go. Check. And we want the bus to be driving in from this left side because that's where it came from, the other scene. And we want the bus to be able to drive again. So this is again green flag. Keeps driving and probably going to want to get it to the house. So let's now go back to scene 1 and play this to see our whole thing play out. Okay, so now we see that the bus appeared to come from the city and then got to scene 2. If you remember, I mentioned that we can have up to 4 scenes in a Scratch project, so you can create a scene like this and have anything that you want to happen at the power of your fingertips here. So this is just one little example to show you how the code blocks work in Scratch Junior. A couple other things that you could do. You can record your own sounds using the green code blocks. You could do loops and different things to make things happen over and over again, but this is just one basic idea of how you can really create anything here in Scratch Junior on the iPad.